Peepees, welcome to the Prattle, the best app yet. And today, we have a special episode for you guys. The 2018 NBA Mock Draft. We did this one for the NFL. And
a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was tons of fun. And I think this is going to be just as good. We are excited about this draft. A lot of big names in this draft. A lot of cool picks.
Potential superstars.
Absolutely. And we want to dive into that and tell you guys about what we think.
For sure, Pop. And great intro, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. So what we're doing is similar to the NFL draft. We have 4 of us on hand today, and each of us is going to have one. So, like, let's say you have the 1 and the 5th pick. We just go in order like that. And what we are doing is, without any prior knowledge of who's picking, we're going to pick, and we're going to do it as if we were the GM of that team. And I believe, as everybody else knows, that the Suns are on the clock. Guys, who's the Suns? Who's working the Suns today?
Before we get into this, Toby, we are doing a snake draft, and I want to remind you.
We're not doing a snake draft.
Okay, this is on me, guys.
No, you're good.
It's on me.
This is a fixed draft. We didn't want to do a snake draft because of TCB.
Yeah, now I'm just confused. Okay, let's get it.
Pop doesn't know how to work fixed drafts.
Let's get it, baby.
All right, the Suns will be manned by none other than myself, ex-producer Deans. Are we ready to start the draft? Can I give my number?
I think
one
we're
overall?
ready. I think we're ready. Who you got?
All right.
Who you
The
got?
Number 1 overall pick in the 2018 Prattle NBA draft. The Phoenix Suns are going to select DeAndre Ayton.
Wow, who would have thought?
They have a scorer, at least, in Devin Booker, but they're lacking at the center position with Tyson Chandler, I believe. And, I mean, come on. You need young talent like DeAndre Ayton. I think this is pretty well known that DeAndre Ayton is probably going to go first overall. He brings a lot to the table. I think he's really going to help the Suns.
You know, Deans, I really like that pick. And did you see that DeAndre Ayton is not going to work out with any other teams? The man said he knows he's getting drafted number 1. So you're like, I'm going to be unique. I'm not going to. Oh wait, never mind. He's going to the Suns. I recently made a bet with our social media manager, Primetime, that he's not going number 1. I can't wait to get that $5 back.
Yeah, boy.
Aaron, you got number 2?
You bet. So, number 2, Sacramento Kings. What more can you say about them besides that they are not so hot, and they have been not so hot for a very long time? I remember when they had Mike Bibby, though. He was cool.
Wow, that's a long memory.
Dude, Mike Bibby was the boy.
Okay.
But with the second pick, Sacramento Kings, I'm going on a limb here. Luka. They're taking Luka Doncic.
It's considered by some to be the best player in this draft. Highest ceiling, maybe. He's been playing in the EuroLeague for a long time, and I've heard that the Kings are not too high on Luka, but Aaron is.
Listen, man, the Sacramento Kings, if they have lacked one thing since Boogie Cousins left, it has been an identity. They have no standout star. They got nobody that wants to take the reins, and they got nobody who really can transition to an absolute superstar. And Luka Doncic has everything to do that, right? This guy, like Toby said, highest ceiling. He's got some potentially highest ceiling. Guy can score, dynamic player, great on the wing. I don't know what more you want in today's NBA than a dynamic wing player who can score.
Right.
And who can sell seats. Listen, De'Aaron Fox, underperformed. They need a scorer. They need somebody who's going to give them some identity. And Luka is your man.
I like that. Can't argue with that one.
Aaron, I love that pick, and I'll tell you why. The NBA is a league where, in order to be successful, you need either a guard or a stretch wing.
Right.
And Luka is that guy.
He's both.
Yes. And I think if you want, the Kings need success, and this is the success. This is the player that they need to bring in success.
Pop,
great pick.
If you were the Suns, would you take Luka over DeAndre, being what you just said?
Absolutely.
Yeah, just because of today's NBA. Maybe 20 years ago, it's an easy DeAndre Ayton pick.
Yep.
Good. You got the number 3 pick, don't you?
Yes. I have the 3rd pick, the Atlanta Hawks. I actually went to go see the Hawks play, and gosh, they were awful. Let me tell you what they need. They need the big man out of MSU. Jaren Jackson. He is dynamic. He can spread the floor. He can shoot sometimes.
Right.
But he is the big man that the Hawks need, and he will fulfill that role perfectly.
So you like Jaren Jackson over a very similar player, Mo Bamba. Why?
Offense. Mo Bamba has zero of that.
As of now.
And as of now, correct, we don't want to wait. The Hawks do not want to wait. Jaren Jackson has it right now. And, yeah, perfect fit.
I like that. The Hawks, like you said, are a long way away from being in contention. Though, for me, being a Michigan fan, Jaren Jackson was by far the best college player that I got to watch this year. So I like that pick. So I have the number 4 pick, the Memphis Grizzlies. And the Grizzlies, I mean, they're locked down with Mike Conley at the point guard, but Marc Gasol's getting up there in age, and I think that this is a steal. I'm taking Marvin Bagley.
I knew it.
At number 4, Marvin Bagley was debatably the best player in college this year. Maybe Trae Young. I'm not too high on Trae Young, however. But Bagley was a consistent 25 to 30 and 15 guy at Duke. Hard to do in college. And I think that he will absolutely flourish in Memphis. I was surprised that Aaron didn't take him 2 at the Kings. So I'm like, fall right to my lap. I am definitely taking Marvin Bagley.
Yeah. TCB, I'm going to echo that. It was real tough for me to not take Bagley. I felt like the Kings needed something. They've got good young guys down low, but Bagley is, like as you said, he is the real deal. He is NBA ready. Homie has got the NBA body, and he's looking real good. So solid pick. Mad props.
Yeah, I like this pick too. The only thing I would say is maybe they would wait one more year with Gasol, see if they can get a couple good number seasons out of him. But Bagley is a hard one to pass up there because they are also lacking in many other places. But I do see how they could take Bagley here. I think that'd be a steal of a pick.
So, Deans, you have 5, right?
That is correct.
Mavs.
At 5, I have the Dallas Mavericks. And my notes for them include a Dirk Nowitzki at center. That man, speaking of getting up there in age, that man is so old. So I am going to take a center. And I was looking for someone who could kind of shoot the 3. I was kind of hoping Jaren Jackson would slip down. But I'm going to try and take Mo Bamba here.
Ooh, spicy.
He wasn't a shooter in college. They've been saying he's been developing a 3-point shot in the workouts. But that man is long. That man can rebound. Guess who's the Dallas Mavericks leading rebounder right now? Harrison Barnes.
Ooh.
That's
Ooh.
They need a big guy down there, scoop up the boards, and I think Mo Bamba can do just that.
Deans, answer me this. You said you want a Dirk. Dirk is an offensive player. And you're picking Mo Bamba?
No, that's what I'm saying. I was hoping for a Dirk, someone who can score on offense, but Jaren Jackson was picked, and I think you have to get a big guy. I was choosing between Bamba and Michael Porter Jr., but I think Bamba has been more impressive in the workouts.
All right, fair enough.
And on that note, we're going to drop to the 6th pick, Orlando Magic. And Dean's alluded to it. We're taking Michael Porter Jr. And I will say this. I think Porter Jr. is the best offensive prospect in the NBA draft. I think he is shown, though he is going to be coming back from injury with the spinal disc.
A big-time injury.
Which is, again, kind of scary. But as Pop said earlier, to be successful in the NBA, having an elite wing is a must. And the Orlando Magic do not have an elite wing. Michael Porter Jr. is going to fill that role, give some much-needed energy to a very mediocre and pretty bleh team that has kind of struggled, I mean, honestly, for the past 4 or 5 seasons. Can't really seem to get anything going. And I think Porter Jr. is going to bring a lot of energy and scoring, which will sell seats, get people excited, and hopefully transition to them becoming a lot stronger in a very weak Eastern Conference.
Aaron, I'm going to tell you why you're wrong by taking Michael Porter Jr., and I have 2 words for you, and that's Jonathan Isaac out of Florida State last year. The man was a rookie last year. He is literally Michael Porter Jr. The man is a 6'10", 6'11" guy that can shoot skinny. That's why their starting point guard last year at times was DJ Augustine out of Texas. No way. That's not going to work. You have 2 point guards in Trae Young and Colin Sexton that are going to be stars, if not great starters in this league. Why did you pass up on a point guard there?
You're telling me Jonathan Isaac, who averaged 5.4 points per game,
rookie year,
3.7
he was
rebounds
a
per
big
game,
project.
and 1.2.
So you're just going to draft a Jonathan Isaac 2.0? Why? Second draft?
Small forward.
That is what he plays.
He plays power forward, dude. The Magic have him listed and played him at a power forward last year.
He's a wing player, but okay. All right.
I'm just saying,
Fine.
right? You're looking at...
Fine.
You got to shore it up, man. Porter Jr., I'm not going to pass up on him.
Okay.
Dude can score.
All right.
In my opinion, people don't talk enough about Michael Porter Jr.
That he's forgotten about.
If he was never injured this past season, he would be in the debate for top 3 player.
You're right.
So getting him at 6, is a steal in my opinion.
Right. My only thing is the fit. Fit in Orlando. That's my only problem that I have, because I agree with you, he is a big-time talent. But 6 is a good spot. I just think maybe the Magic would trade out of that spot, but obviously we don't do trades. But Pop, I think we got to transition into your Chicago Bulls. You got the Bulls, right?
Yep. So last season the Bulls took Lauri Markkanen, and he had
What a great pick.
Yeah, he had a phenomenal rookie season. Probably not talked about enough.
You're right.
And so I'm going to stick with the trend with a wing player. And I'm going to take Mikal Bridges.
Out of Nova.
Yep. I think, and the Bulls are rebuilding. Can we all agree about that? Yes.
Yes.
And I think the way you start a rebuild is wing players. And then a point guard, then a center. And I think Bridges is a perfect fit for this scenario. And he'll great pick at just the right time.
Okay. I agree with you. What about the other Bridges? You're a big Michigan State guy. What about the other M Bridges?
I don't think he'll go. I love Miles Bridges.
You think he might have peaked in college?
I don't think he will fit in as well as the other Bridges, as Mikal Bridges.
You think with the Bulls, or you think in general in the NBA?
The Bulls. I think he'll fit in the NBA. I think he could have a solid career. I don't know. I think we saw a lot of Miles Bridges' potential in college already. So he has a very low ceiling in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he'll be a decent player, not a superstar.
I like that pick. Mikal Bridges, because he stayed at Nova for so long, is not talked about like these other big guys, but he is the prototypical 3-and-D guy, and I think I can see it transitioning into the NBA as well.
I agree 100%. Good pick. Good pick, Bob.
All right, so TCB, have the 8th pick, and that's going to Cleveland via trade. Who would think that the team that got runner-up in the NBA would have the 8th pick, but here we are. And I believe that the Cavs need to start looking on after LeBron, which I think it might be that time. However, I think that the best player available right now, first of all, I wanted to take Michael Porter. That's why I was fighting Aaron so bad on that. Yeah, right. You're right. See, you understand me now. However, who I will take is Colin Sexton out of Alabama. And I think this man is by far the best point guard in this draft. In college, no. In college, maybe yes, though, because Colin Sexton locked down Trae Young in their one meeting. And I truly believe that Colin Sexton has the defensive capabilities. The man is explosive. He's like a mini Russell Westbrook in that regard, plays better defense maybe. But Trae Young, people compare him to Curry like, oh, he's going to turn into Curry. No, nobody can do what Curry does. He can't just automatically be able to shoot crazy shots like he was doing in college at the NBA level when players are 5 times as long, 5 times as quick, and so on. So I'm taking Colin Sexton with that 8 pick.
Okay. I got a couple questions for you, though. So, undeniably, I feel like you cannot talk about this
Yeah.
enough. LeBron James is probably out of there. Why are you not taking? Why are you not taking an elite wing? Why are you not taking someone who can? I don't, dude. You got. Okay.
Tell me
First off, you can take Lonnie Walker,
No. The
You're
man
kidding.
is a shooting guard.
but he can score. He can play wing.
Why? No. That wouldn't even. I don't even think that would enter the Cavs' mind to take Walker there.
Why not?
He's not. Colin Sexton is the better pro prospect in my opinion, and in just about everybody else's opinion. I think the Colin Sexton pick would be great if Michael Porter is not there, because I think Michael Porter has one of the highest ceilings in the draft. Especially if they draft Michael Porter Jr., then LeBron is not going to be there.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, right? If we're talking about, I feel like the Cavs, they're building for the future and they're looking at upside. I think Lonnie Walker has much more upside compared to someone like Colin Sexton.
I think you're wrong there, but we
All
can
right, well, I
agree
guess
to
we just.
disagree.
All right.
All right, who's got the Knicks pick? I think that's Dean's.
Knicks pick at 9 is me, Dean's. And I was thinking about taking Colin Sexton. Great pick by TCB there for the Cavs. But the other one that was talked about was Trae Young. And I think we're going Trae Young at 9. I mean, as Aaron's been saying, the man can score. I think he fits the New York Knicks attitude. He's really flashy. I think the people over there will love him. Yeah, I mean, put up the crazy shots. They need guard help. I was thinking, well, who do they have? Trey Burke at the point guard right now. That man has not lived up to his NBA hype since getting drafted. So hopefully they can score here with Trae Young and have a good duo with Trae Young and Kristaps.
I think Trae Young came out and said he would love to play for the Knicks, which I think this is a perfect pick. You want a guy who's all for you, and that's Trae Young. And what a guy to complement Kristaps. I think those two
Pick and pop.
Those two would be a great combo.
Dean's, if Sexton was there and you had the choice between the two to fit for the Knicks, who are you taking there?
I think I'm taking Sexton. I think Trae Young can be a little bit unpredictable at times, and it led to some downfalls of the Oklahoma basketball team this last season. And I think the Knicks need more of a reliable player. They have a bunch of average guys who can go off or be trash. They don't have any consistency there. And so I think Colin Sexton would provide more of that for them.
Most definitely. I think Colin Sexton is definitely a safer pick. All right, who's got the 76ers drafting at 10, man? They could get a solid guy here.
They
Add to that
could.
young core.
They could. And I'm actually really torn on this because there's a couple guys I want to take. But I think that the Philadelphia 76ers have showed they are not one to shy away from project picks, right? They're not shy to work with people for the long haul.
Oh, you mean process picks?
Process picks. And so, fittingly, I'm going to go with the process pick. I talked about him earlier. I'm going to talk about him again. 76ers, Lonnie Walker. I'm taking him.
Okay. Over Miles Bridges.
Over Miles Bridges. I don't think Miles Bridges is what they need.
Okay. What do they need?
So, in my opinion, if we're looking at the 76ers right now, they have already got plenty of glue guys, right? Guys that, like, I think Darius Arch, good glue guy, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that is the one thing you can talk about Miles Bridges that he's probably going to be really good at, is being a mid-level secondary scorer glue guy, right?
Okay.
I feel like the 76ers already have plenty of secondary scorers. And they've got plenty of superstars, right? They've got Joel Embiid. They've got Ben Simmons. They've got Fultz.
Okay, so you're taking Lonnie Walker as like a swing and miss or a home run guy kind of thing. Okay.
I'm thinking at the 10th, they can afford to gamble here.
And they got lots of picks.
And I'm thinking Lonnie Walker has huge upside. He's got huge upside. This guy could be real good. Shooting guard, could turn into a just prolific scorer, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the one thing that they are missing is someone who's good from range. You're looking at J.J. Redick who's
He's
very
also got
good.
really, really weird tattoos.
J.J. Redick?
Yes.
Well, he's been in the NBA for 11 years, so I feel like that kind of happens. The longer you're there, the weirder your tattoos get. Birdman, right? That guy was
wow. What
wild.
a transformation!
Hey, but you gotta replace the guy sometime, and I think that grabbing Lonnie Walker is like you said, it's a bit of a reach. Could be a swing and miss, or it could be an absolute home run that cements them as potentially the best team in the NBA in the next 5 years.
Whoa. Bold take, because there is the team called the Warriors, but I do like that a lot. Pop, I think you've got the Hornets as we move on from Lonnie Walker to the Sixers. Hornets at 11, Pop.
Yes, sir. And I am taking Miles Bridges, baby. Another Spartan dog. I think he would fit in perfectly down there. You have Kemba Walker at your point, and perfect guy to learn from. You got MJ down there as well, and I think Miles is. I don't know if I don't want to say he's not a leader, but he's definitely a learner, and
Right.
I think he'll fit perfectly.
I think he would too with Kemba Walker. When Cassius Winston was playing well at Michigan State, you could tell that Miles Bridges played better, having that solid point guard presence who Tum Tum really wasn't while at Michigan State in terms of offensively. So Kemba Walker paired with Miles Bridges, getting a guy like that at the number 11 pick I think would be a steal, and I really like that Miles Bridges pick.
Thank you, TCB.
You're welcome. All right, so I have the Clippers, and this is actually the first of 2 picks for the Clippers. And because they stole, they
straight up hit us with the heist.
They did, right. They stole the Pistons pick. So I am going to go with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander from Kentucky. This man is a long point guard. I watched him for really the first time heavily during the NCAA tournament, and the man was the best player on the court in all the games that he played. That he could get it done, especially with the dribble drive and dish and dribble drive and finish. I think that is huge for the Clippers because they are lacking at the point guard spot right now, and I think that's evident, especially because they have Patrick Beverley, who can't really do much, and they obviously had Chris Paul, which was big. But I think this Gilgeous-Alexander goes along with the NBA's trend of having these taller, maybe a little bit less strong. He's only listed at 180 pounds at 6'6", which obviously he needs to put on some weight. But I think he would be a great addition to the Clippers. Kind of aging roster, but he seems to me to be the best kind of stretch point in this draft. So I'm going to go with Gilgeous-Alexander to the Clippers. And then, Deans, you have the second pick to the Clippers. Now knowing that I took Gilgeous-Alexander, who do you got going there?
There, I think Gilgeous-Alexander helps my pick because I think they do need someone at the guard spot, and I think they could actually use someone as a big man. Jordan is there, but Jordan's also been rumored to be, or is in trade rumors with other teams, and I think that Wendell Carter Jr. could be a good pick there. Stretch 4, stretch 5, big man down there. As we've said, the game's kind of leaning toward the stretch 4-5 side of the game. And I think that'd be something that would complement the previous pick with Gilgeous-Alexander as well.
I like that pick.
One thing on Wendell Carter, he is so under the radar due entirely because of Marvin Bagley. They both shared the big man post at Duke this past season, both freshmen, and he absolutely got overshadowed by Bagley. This man is the real deal, and I really like this Wendell Carter pick. Dean, you got something to say?
The man shot 41% from 3 in college. I mean, that's a good shooting big man right there. That's someone who can put the ball in the hoop.
Right, definitely. And looking at his stats, having 2.1 blocks per game, shooting the free throw at nearly a 75% clip, underrated. You need to be able to hit those free throws, especially in today's NBA. I really like that Wendell Carter pick, and I would be surprised if he'd be around for the Clippers there, and they would be shouting for joy.
Moving on. 14th pick, the Nugs. Your
Good
boys
team.
got them.
Good team.
Good team. One game out of making the playoffs. Looking a lot of upside. Some of their, freshman, first-year players looking real good. Jokic looking real good. Jamal Murray looking real good. Looking at these guys, I'm going to say that they should take Zaire Smith.
Okay. The Virginia grad.
Yes. Strong, quick, aggressive, super athletic. He can shoot. Super good defensively. And if you look at the Nuggets, right, and you look at who they got, especially at the small forward. You got Wilson Chandler. You got Richard Jefferson and Juan Hernan Gomez.
Yeah.
Not so hot. Not so hot.
Right.
And Zaire Smith can play. He can play small forward. He can play shooting guard. He can play both. I think he fits in real nicely with this Nuggets team and could add a lot to a team that has the potential to really start cracking into that bottom portion of playoff teams.
I really do like that pick. And because of the fact that Jamal Murray was a surprise home run and Nikola Jokic out of nowhere, to be able to have a guy like Zaire Smith, as you said, come into a team that's already built so well, I think that would flourish. I don't know if he'd start right away. You never really know with that being later in the lottery, but I think that would be a very good pick by the Nuggets.
I'm surprised you didn't scoop him up with the Clippers. But
couldn't pass up on my guys, man.
That's true.
But the only thing with this Nuggets pick is I don't think they're 1/14th pick away from being one of the good teams in the West, Like, I think this is going to, as you said, maybe break them into the 8-7 spot in the West. But I don't think a 14th pick in the draft is going to do a whole lot for them.
No, but I think that if you are the Nuggets, you're looking to be that 8-7 seed, right? Because you're so close. You were so close when no one really had any inklings of you being okay team, right?
Absolutely.
And having some of these picks work out, I think they're positioned really well to maybe in a couple years and through building and maybe if some stuff pays off to potentially be a 5-4 seed in their conference.
One can only hope at this point if you're the Nuggets.
Yeah, for real.
15th pick?
15th pick belongs to me, and it is the Washington Wizards. Man, this pick's tough. You got John Wall on that team. You got Bradley Beal.
Right.
And with this past season, I don't know if those guys are the answer.
Disappointment of a year.
Yeah. And it's tough because there's two guys I'm looking at. It's either Kevin Knox out of Kentucky.
Okay.
Or Dante DiVincenzo.
Wow.
Out of Nova. And it's tough because Kevin Knox is a big guy who can score. And a 6'9" power forward, small forward.
Yeah, it's like an in-betweener, yeah.
Yeah. And when I'm thinking about it, I think that's what the Wizards need. So I'm going to take Kevin Knox out of Kentucky.
I love that pick. He's like an upgrade over Markieff Morris, in my opinion, and he's younger. So I really, really like Kevin Knox there. Again, I'd be surprised if he slipped. I think the Lonnie Walker pick kind of threw things out of proportion there, Aaron. Producer bit. But you never know. But Pop, I really do like that pick by the Wizards. Kevin Knox going 15th to Washington.
Yeah.
All right.
Good pick, baby.
Yes, very good pick.
TCB, you ended things off?
I think I better end things off. And I have the Suns. And they took DeAndre Ayton earlier, and man, have they been through just the trash heap in terms of point guards over the years. Like, they experimented with Brandon Knight. They experimented with Eric Bledsoe, and Eric Bledsoe was horrible too. I mean, they do have Tyler Ulis there. However, I am going to go with a player that didn't even start for his college team. However, oh boy, did he destroy my Michigan Wolverines in the finals.
That he did.
That is Dante DiVincenzo out of Villanova. This man can straight up score, and the reason I'm taking him with Devin Booker, I understand. People are like, isn't he like a Devin Booker? Yes, but Devin Booker, he needs a guy that can score along with him. They don't have anybody. They drafted Josh Jackson last year. He didn't do much, and he defensively is his strong suit. Having a guy like DiVincenzo as a sixth man would be great for this Suns team. Huge.
Very true.
Yeah.
I think I definitely think that, yeah, you have Booker, you have scorers, and you definitely need to fill that team. But DiVincenzo, he's a talent. Yeah. He's an NBA talent and has the ability to really flourish, especially playing with Booker as someone who could potentially kind of lend him some help and guidance.
Right.
Because I think Booker has really expressed this desire to kind of build up the Suns, and I think he would see DiVincenzo as a great way to complement himself, as you kind of alluded to, and therefore could maybe take the bit of a reins and help kind of guide DiVincenzo at least through his first couple seasons, because I think that there is a lot of upside there, and he showed it in the Michigan game when he absolutely torched us.
Yeah, he did. You're very right. Yep. So PPs, we're doing 16 picks, so each of us could have 4. So just to run down who was picked, the Suns took DeAndre Ayton at 1. The Kings took Luka Doncic at 2. We'll see if that actually happens. That would be, I think, in my opinion, a great pick. Hawks taking Jaren Jackson. Grizzlies Marvin Bagley. The Mavs taking Mo Bamba, who apparently can shoot now. Who knew? The Magic taking Michael Porter Jr. off that big injury. The Bulls taking Mikal Bridges. The Cavs got Colin Sexton over Trae Young, and then the Knicks had Trae Young fall to them. The 76ers took Lonnie Walker out of Miami. Hornets with Miles Bridges out of Sparty. The Clips getting Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Wendell Carter. And the Nuggets at 14 getting Zaire Smith. Wizards, Kevin Knox at 15, and Dante DiVincenzo at 16. I have one question for you guys, and I'm going to answer it first. The best fit out of any of these picks, and I think it's easy. I like Jaren Jackson in Atlanta. Yes, they drafted John Collins last year at the 4. I think Jackson can be that stretch 5. And like we've been saying throughout this episode, the fact that you need a stretch 5 in today's NBA, or at least somebody that's big that can stretch the floor, is huge. And I think Jaren Jackson could turn into a really, really good player, a star, an all-star for sure. I'm anticipating him being an all-star. So I see Jaren Jackson as the best fit. Deans, out of all of these picks, who do you think's the best fit?
I'm sorry, boys, but I got to go with the cliche one, number 1 pick, DeAndre Ayton. I think the Phoenix are so much lacking a big man that they could stick almost any big man there and it'd be a good fit, but DeAndre Ayton would be a very good one because as we were talking about, Devin Booker needs someone to score the ball, right? And if DeAndre Ayton can be a somewhat stretch 5, but also get rebounds for him, I think that's a great fit. I don't know how you can get much better than that.
Yeah, and I mean, I hate to be the guy that echoes, but I'm going to 100% agree with Dean's here. I think that DeAndre Ayton is far and away has the best fit. The Suns, like you said, they need a big man. They need someone down low. They need somebody to take some pressure off Devin Booker and get him some more open shots and allow him to not have to work so hard to get his points. And I think Ayton provides so much pressure down low that it's going to open up a lot of things for the Suns. Pops, what are your feelings?
This is going to be a surprise because I was kind of trashing him a little earlier during the draft. But I think Mo Bamba. I think you just drafted a guy, Dennis Smith Jr., at point, and that's a good start. And now you get a center, that defensive-minded center that will stand in the paint and protect it. And that's perfect. I think that's where the Mavs need it. Dirk is getting old. Yes, you're missing the offense, but I think Dennis Smith covers that. So improving your defense with Mo Bamba is perfect.
Yeah, you asked about getting a new Dirk, but I think the Mavs had previously built around Dirk. They had Dirk score the ball a lot, but now I think you can hear that man's bones creak when he's running down the court and playing defense. And so I think someone defensive-minded, guarding these quick guards on high pick and rolls, I think Mo Bamba can do just that. From Texas.
Yep.
That's right. Okay, PPs, thank you so much for listening to our mock draft. The draft's on June 21, and it would be a lot more fun if the Pistons had a draft pick. Like, I love doing a mock draft like this, but when the Pistons don't have a lottery pick or even a first-round pick, it's a lot less fun. But I got to be honest, guys, this was a lot of fun. It'll be interesting to see where these guys go because there is so much talent in this draft class. So, yeah, great doing the mock draft. Mock draft 2018.
Peepees, tell us where we went wrong.
That's right. That's right.
We'll most likely post something on our Instagram
We
page.
definitely will.
Tell us what you agree with us. Tell us what you disagree with us.
Mm-hmm.
Where players land. Tell us what's up. Tell me why I'm wrong.
That's right.
I like that. I like to argue that.
And on that note, PPs, we are going to transition into some NBA Finals talk because our social media guy, Primetime Mac, the man has been running our social media, and we decided that finally, yes, Mac, you can come on our podcast, I guess. Mac, thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, thank you very much, and it's been a blast running the social media for you guys, and it's been a blast listening to you guys and sitting in studio today listening to that mock draft. I will say Spider-Man, been watching Spider-Man during that mock draft. I would say
the new one?
The Homecoming. It was
Okay.
like last year. So reviews for it so far, I'd say 7 out of 10.
I've heard it's
love-
funny.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I love Marvel movies, but we're talking NBA Finals right now, right? Recapping the NBA Finals.
Yes, we're recapping the NBA Finals because we really didn't get to that as we had our interview with Iggy last week. But yeah, the NBA Finals happened, and it happened quickly. However, the 3 days in between games I do not like, but so not too quickly, but in 4 games. And it surprised me. I thought that, the King would get more than one game, but boy, did they blow it in game 1, and that might have done them in for the series.
Bring out the brooms, baby, because it was a sweep.
Bring out the brooms.
Yeah, and I think you hit on a great point there that game 1 may have actually done in the Cavaliers because LeBron, much to everyone's dismay after game 4, revealed that he was playing with a right hand injury
Fake news.
that he sustained in game 1.
Punching a whiteboard, actually, not in game 1. Punching a whiteboard.
Yes.
After game 1.
After game 1, which, if you know how to add 2 and 2, that didn't happen because he was upset about losing. That happened because he was upset at J.R. Smith for doing J.R. Smith things and losing them the game.
Yeah, I would have punched more than a whiteboard if I put up 59 and 9. And
Hot take, J.R. Smith has never recovered from the party binge he decided to go on after winning the NBA Finals.
I'm surprised he's wearing a shirt.
Well, speaking of party binges, did you see Nick Young, swaggy champ, if I may add? No shirt, no shoes, tons of service for him. He has been going off, and he deserves it. That man has put in a ton of work, shot millions of threes, made one of them.
Right.
And
now he's got a ring.
Yeah. If you just make one of them, you get the ring. And that man deserves everything in this world. And swaggy champ for life.
Primetime, really quick. Better celebration, Alexander Ovechkin or Swaggy Champ?
I don't think Alexander Ovechkin has stopped celebrating. So
the man has it.
It has to go to him.
Right.
Their parade today, he went off and drank more beer.
The dude doesn't stop.
And he was swimming in a fountain with no shirt on. Who is this man? I was like, when I watched the NHL, I was like, oh, okay, this guy's pretty good. But now, this dude is absolutely crazy. But I have to say, shout out to my man, Swaggy Champ. Threes for life. Gosh, so happy for him.
Well, I'm going to actually... You guys said Ovechkin and Swaggy P, but you guys neglected to talk about Jordan Bell. Have you guys been paying attention to Jordan Bell at all?
Yes.
Because this man is on a quest for the hen dog, the Hennessy. At the Golden State Warriors parade, Jordan Bell was partaking from this tree quite liberally, and then he ran out. And in his absolute fandom that he has shot to, he was able to track down some Henny from an outside guy at the parade. And man, that's probably the funniest video I've ever seen. You see this big NBA player shirtless wearing a gold watch and some ski goggles wandering out into a giant crowd to grab a handle of Henny from a random guy off the street.
I'm done talking about celebrations because the man who should be celebrating is LeBron James. This man poured his heart out for this team, and his team gave him nothing. He should be proud of himself. It's honestly disappointing how the series went.
Right.
But we cannot take away anything from LeBron's legacy because if you go into anyone, Michael Jordan, any superstar goes onto that team and does the same thing as LeBron did, this outcome is still the same.
Do you think he gave up?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Golden State Warriors are the best team I've ever seen. And to say the greatest player in the world right now gave up is the numbers didn't even show that he gave up. So
I agree. I don't think he gave up, but I think there was a point where he's like, why am I even playing for this? I think he realized, especially after that 51 9-9 game, that his teammates weren't going to give him anything. So I think there had to have been a point where he's like, I'm doing all this for literally nothing, especially game 4. Like, you got to be in that entire fourth quarter fighting for your life, but you didn't see it out of him. And I mean, I don't blame him. He wasn't going to get anything out of it.
Well, you have to feel bad for the King because this sweep and this finals will always overshadow that game 1 51-point game, considered probably one of the greatest finals games performances in history. So you have to feel bad for the guy that he had no help around him. One of his teammates lost in the game. And, I mean, you can't... This man is the best player in the world by far right now. And just feel bad for him, but also know that he's going to go somewhere next year where he can win. He's getting towards the end of his career, obviously. I mean, he might have a few more years left, but he is getting up there in age, and he wants more rings, and he wants to go down as one of the greatest players of all time. He will, but he wants to go down as the greatest player of all time.
Right. I definitely agree. To bridge off of the LeBron stuff, because that's literally been all that anybody's been talking about, I do want to give the Golden State Warriors their due, because it doesn't even seem like the Warriors won a championship, just that LeBron is all of a sudden going to be a free agent if he opts out. So I got to give the Warriors their due, and like Primetime Max said, this is the best team I've ever seen assembled, and it was done very unselfishly. As we saw with Draymond taking a pay cut, people think, oh, the man's still making $12 million a year. Yeah, but he is taking a pay cut, which is big, and you don't see that out of superstars. So as long as Steph Curry and Kevin Durant are on that team, which they have both said numerous times that they want to be, who wouldn't want to go play for a team like the Warriors? I think that this dynasty is going to be around for a very long time. And good for the Warriors. They've created a great team that we have not seen a dynasty like this in a very long time in the NBA or in any sport.
First, Toby, let me correct you.
Yeah.
Draymond Green is not a superstar.
Okay.
That's just wrong. No offense. You were very wrong on that.
Okay, so KD going to Golden State's fine because he only went to 2 superstars like LeBron did, right?
Different situation.
Okay.
Very different situation.
We'll see.
But Draymond Green, did you see him at the Prid?
I did not, no.
With his mood shirt on?
Yeah.
Fist?
Yes.
I don't know. I love the Sparty guy, but I don't know. Not a big fan of him.
Yeah, and I think it's also interesting that you brought up the $12 million mark, because that's actually how much he gave up with his when he signed his contract, right, going through this 5-year. I think it's 84, 86 million, 82 million, something like that. 86 million. He was eligible for 98, and his as a second round late draft pick, that's something that you normally don't see. For a lot of these guys that come out of the second round and see this unexpected success, they grab as much money as they can, because they might fizzle out. You have 1 or 2 great seasons, you all of a sudden tear something in your knee, you mess up your back, you hurt your arm, you are never making anywhere near that money ever again, and you might not even see a contract, let alone the floor of an NBA arena again. So I do think it's really, like, Draymond Green taking a pay cut is something that I think people kind of gloss over, because I do agree with Pop. I do not think he is a superstar. I think he is a star.
Okay.
But he is not a superstar.
Right.
You put Draymond Green on a team, and he's not going to automatically elevate them to being playoff contenders in right where they might win in their conference. You put Steph Curry on a team, they're going to contend to win their conference. You put KD on a team, they're going to contend to win their conference.
Right. So one thing that I saw in a Draymond Green quote, I think I saw it today, yeah, I did see it today, was he said, this money, this extra $12 million is not going to save my neighborhood. He's from Saginaw, a really kind of poor part of Michigan. He said, but championships and my public figure on the Warriors will. And I really think that's admirable. However much I might dislike the guy and some things he does on and off the court, Snapchat for one, obviously.
Ooh.
The man is doing it the right way in terms of a business standpoint, and the Warriors are just thankful for him doing that. Very, very much so. And I want to do really quick, is there any chance any team beats the Warriors next season? Or is it just, Is it just going to be the Warriors once again?
Yes, when LeBron joins Houston.
LeBron to Houston beats the Warriors in a 7-game?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, when LeBron goes to Philly.
No. Okay. Matt.
It all depends where LeBron goes. If you didn't know this, LeBron's kid is now enrolled in a school in Los Angeles. So what's going on there? Is LeBron to LA confirmed at this point? Because his kid's enrolled in school there. I mean, I don't want to impede on their privacy life, but that's pretty big news. Like, as he's going into one of the biggest off-season free agency summers in NBA history about where he will go. So I think I want him to go to the 76ers, but I think he's going to end up in LA. Everything's pointing towards that.
I think if he goes to LA, he's got to be joined by another superstar for them to beat the Warriors. There's got to be someone else there.
Yeah, for sure. That could be a Paul George or them moving pieces to get Kawhi Leonard too.
Kawhi is, I think, potentially the one thing that people are glossing over because he did not play and did not have a great season this past year. This guy, Kawhi, can play and he can ball, and you put Kawhi and LeBron on a team, and I think with a supporting cast, they can give Golden State a real run for their money.
Right. I think no matter where LeBron goes, I still think it's the Warriors team to beat. One, that playing with superstars and superstar-sized egos in the NBA today is harder than you think. Give Steve Kerr, give the guys on the Warriors a bunch of credit. We saw it in Miami. They started off very slow, I think 9-10 in their first season. So let's say LeBron does go to LA and they get a Kawhi Leonard, team up with Alonzo Ball and a very underrated Brandon Ingram. I think they will be a very solid team. I think they'll be in the Western Conference Finals, maybe competing with the likes of the Rockets, but I still think it's the Warriors team to beat. Or the Warriors championship to win.
Toby, I want to go back to a point you made.
Yes.
You said the Warriors are going to be good for the next however many years. You said 5 maybe. Let's just say 5.
Sure, yeah.
Hear me out.
I'm ready.
You see, okay, they already won 3.
Correct.
I think we're going to see these guys say, hey, I already got my rings.
Get me out of here.
Let's make some money. Let's go play. Let's go get a Supermax deal.
Right.
I already accomplished everything I wanted. 3 rings. 4+ rings.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go do my own thing. Let me go make some money. I can see Draymond. I can see Clay doing that.
Right.
I see those two doing that. I don't see Steph and KD because they already got those big contracts.
Correct.
So maybe in the next couple of years we see that move, that big money move, and once that happens, I don't think the Warriors are as dominant anymore.
I agree with you. Initially, they won't be as dominant, but I think as long as, like I said, Steph and KD are on the Golden State Warriors roster, who would not want to play with those two guys? They would attract all the big name free agents. As Kevin Durant, he knew he was going to be hated for going to the greatest team possibly ever assembled, but he did it anyway because he wanted to win. And the guys that want to win, play fun basketball, are going to go there. So if a Clay, if a Draymond leave, sure, they might not get the level of a Clay or a Draymond in free agency, but they will get another star. And if not, they have 3 MVPs between Steph and KD. That will automatically be a great team.
I don't think that the players attract them like their play styles attract other players. I think the winning culture of Golden State attracts other players.
Definitely.
So if Clay and Draymond leave, and the winning culture goes down, how is that going to bring anyone?
I don't think the winning culture will go down. That's my thing.
We'll see.
Right.
Yeah, and speaking about moves and movement, the Detroit Pistons just hired Dwane Casey, the former coach of the Toronto Raptors, the last recipient of the NBCA Coach of the Year, who was swept, unfortunately, by LeBron James after making it through the first round of the playoffs and defeating the Washington Wizards. So, with Dwane Casey coming on, it's big news for the Pistons. How can he change the Pistons culture? Because they have really struggled to get things to right the ship. I mean, basically ever since they, ended up losing Chauncey and the old core that brought them the championship. So what what are you guys looking forward to with Casey coming in? What do you think he's going to bring to this kind of stagnant Pistons organization? And what are you looking forward to with him coming on?
Well, I got to say, Dwane Casey had to have been the best thing that the Pistons could have gotten at the head coaching position. But I'm really interested to see how he adapts to coaching Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond. In Toronto, he's been coaching DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry as guards basically the entire time. His entire reign in Toronto has been through the guards. So I am very interested to see how he coaches the big men in Andre Drummond and Blake Griffin with a severe lack in the guard position and wing position.
Deans, you don't have to be nice to the Pistons. It's worse than a severe lack at the guard spot. Holy crap.
They are pretty bad at the guard position. I would have to agree with that. But, I mean, he has had some experience with big men with Valanciunas. But, I mean, that's just one guy. Now he has two guys who basically have to be the superstars for the Pistons.
Right.
And Andre Drummond always, I feel, underperforms for the Pistons. And it'll be interesting. I think this is the best coach they could have gotten. But we'll see how this all plays out, and hopefully they finally get back to winning again, because it sucks watching them not make the playoffs every year.
Yeah, and I think there is one thing I want to bring up. He does have some experience coaching big men. I think a lot of people forget about this. He actually coached Kevin Garnett at the Minnesota Timberwolves for a season and a half, where he was unfortunately then unceremoniously fired halfway through his second season with the Timberwolves. So he does have some experience in working with big men. I mean, KG, you got the guy who's a first ballot Hall of Famer, absolute, specimen. Down low, and a great player overall. So I don't know if Blake Griffin or Andre Drummond is either of those things, but he has some experience working through big men, I think. But it's been a while, and especially in this NBA, you need guards.
Right, just to kind of go off of that a little bit, I don't know if it's going to be Dwane Casey as much of an impact as whoever comes in at that GM spot, because the way that they have this roster structured, they're not going to win anything. With no guard spot, literally no wing players. We had to start Reggie Bullock at the 2 guard and Luke Kennard at the 3 at some point. Like, half of you don't know who they are, and you shouldn't, because they're bad. So what I think needs to happen is they need to use their first-round pick this year. Oh, wait, they don't have one. Okay, never mind. Okay.
Rest in peace.
Oh, rest in peace to that pick. All right. So they need to do something. They're not going to be good for a while. And I'm surprised that Dwane Casey took this job, to be honest with you, because he's been with Toronto, who's been a very successful regular season team. And like Deans was saying before, Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan, you can't get much better than that as a backcourt. And now you're going to go to Reggie Jackson and Reggie Bullock. Yeah, good luck with that, Dwane.
But that's what the Pistons need, a coach that can work with wings or with guards.
Right, but we just don't have them yet. I definitely agree with you. That's why I'm saying the GM position is going to be more important. Get those guys in there, and then we have Casey for when that happens.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right. So, I mean, I think the future looks brighter today than it did when we had Stan Van Gundy. And that was just a horrible thing that we did there. But, yeah, I definitely think that we are on the up and up, but we just need some more guard play. And the Twin Towers only works if you have 2 amazing players like Anthony Davis and Boogie. And even then it might not work. You still need guard play like Drew Holiday, who showed out in the playoffs. And the Pistons just don't have guys like that. And also, Andre Drummond and Blake Griffin are not Anthony Davis or Boogie Cousins. So, yeah, I just don't see this structured team working until they do better on the GM spot.
Yeah, and I think it brings up a great point in just the fact that the Pistons have, again, just completely stagnated since pretty much winning their championship and, bringing that back, after the Bad Boys era. And I just, like you said, I'm so excited to see what Dwane Casey brings in, because I think that's going to be more telling of what's going to happen, of who he's able to, kind of work with the GM to bring in, and who we can see the Pistons kind of build up to see if we can make this work with Drummond and Blake Griffin. That being said, I mean, us hiring Dwane Casey, that is not making me think that all of a sudden the Pistons are going to be able to slink into an 8 or a 7 seed. I don't know if we're going to be good. I don't think we're going to be good. But we have the pieces there, and we at least have a coach who's shown he's capable of winning in the regular season, but winning in general, which is something the Detroit Pistons have lacked for the longest time.
Right. I think Dwane Casey coming to the Pistons will help fuel the debate on whether or not a coach is important in the NBA. Because if you see a success here, and as we said, they don't have a pick, they really are not rumored in any free agent moves this offseason. So it's basically going to be the same exact team. And so if we do see an incline, then obviously coaches do matter in the NBA. If we see nothing happen, I mean, whatever. But another thing I'd like to say is, what about the Raptors now? They hired in Nick Nurse, their assistant. Is he the key for them?
Yeah, I think this brings up an interesting point because Nick Nurse really is not well known around the NBA. He served as an assistant. He spent a lot of time in Europe. He was a coach of the year while he was in the British Basketball League. But
It's a big league right there.
the BBL instead of the BBB.
I could be the coach of the year there, I think.
You probably could. So, I mean, not take away from Nick Nurse is a very capable coach. He's spent a lot of time coaching, mostly, if not entirely, outside of the NBA, overseas. He has only been with the Toronto Raptors as an NBA coach. He's never served in any other NBA role while entering coaching. He's 50 years old, and he's not super well known. Could Nick Nurse have been the guy behind the scenes who has kind of been a mastermind with Dwane Casey? Or maybe Nick Nurse is the guy that has a differing plan that the Raptors think is going to bring some success that they couldn't get with Dwane Casey? I don't know, but I feel like Nick Nurse for them is either going to be, he's going to be shown to be this fantastic basketball mind, or it's going to be kind of a flop, and you're going to see him out of there in a season and a half.
Yeah, Pop, you got some?
Yeah, I don't think the coaching situation was the lack of success for the Raptors. I honestly think it's the players. The Raptors don't have the pieces to get past, well, then the LeBron-led Cavs. That was literally the only thing holding them back. They would always get matched up second round, and they would fall. So I don't know how much it was Dwane Casey, because he showed regular season that he's capable of leading a great team. It's just the big beast in the East, LeBron.
I completely agree. I don't think it's the coach that was the issue in Toronto. I mean, obviously, Dwane Casey showed he was a great coach, but they just could never get past LeBron over there. But I think that's all we got for this. So we're gonna move on into over-unders. I think I'm gonna start. This will be a good transition one. Over under the 8.5 seed for the Pistons next year. So basically, are they making the playoffs or not? 8 seed would be playoffs. 9 seed would be no.
I'm going to take the over on that just because they were right there at this season even until the end there when they lost a bunch of games. But I'm going to take the over, and they're literally going to make the 8th seed. Nothing higher than that.
I am going to take the under here. I think the East is an abysmal counterpart to the West, but I do think that it is getting better, and I think that there's a lot of talent that is being shipped in. So I just really don't see the Pistons making any moves to put themselves into, like, above that threshold into the 8th seed. And I think that Dwane Casey does not necessarily all of a sudden win them a couple extra games that SVG couldn't. So I'm going to say under.
But they now have two pieces, Dwane Casey and Blake Griffin, who have both been in the playoffs and have that experience making it. I think combining that will help them get them into the playoffs, but ultimately they're going to need to add more pieces if they want to actually do anything in the playoffs, because they'll just get to the playoffs and lose every year.
Right, I definitely agree. I definitely am going over. The Pistons were only 4 games out behind the Wizards last year, and that was with an incompetent coach, in my opinion, and a hard-to-mesh front court, which now they have the entire summer to figure out. And so I believe that the Pistons will at least under. Yeah, right, definitely. So I do think that they will make the playoffs for sure. Deans, finish this one off. What do you think?
This one's tough for me because I think the East is going to stay almost basically the same, except for 2, maybe 3 teams. Cleveland, probably going to be trash. The Knicks could go up because they'd get Kristaps back. But that basically leaves the Pistons in the exact same spots. I'm gonna go over again just because I think that guard position is just so awful that there's just a point where you can't just figure something out and have it be good. I'm going to the over. They're probably going to cop the 9 or 10 seed again, get a bad draft pick, and be bad again.
I'm going under. I don't think they make the playoffs. I think
It would be over.
it would be over. I'm taking the over then.
Is 9 greater than 8?
Sorry. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, PPs. A little brain fart there. Over. I'm taking the over. They're not make the playoffs, and I think they are on the brink of a rebuild. I think they should. Yes, I said a while ago that Blake Griffin trade was good, but now we are seeing that it's not. It's not bringing anyone to the Pistons. Not any guard play. I think they should just complete rebuild, and that's why I don't think they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I think that when we're looking at some teams around the league, you've got, the Knicks and the Bulls, who both were worse than the Pistons, but in my opinion, have a really great upside for this incoming season. And with the draft picks they have, they also have the potential to add some really great pieces. So I don't think the Pistons are going to make the playoffs.
All right. Next over-under now. I have one. A good one for you guys. They just did this. We spoke about BBB earlier. Big Bar brand. The JBA has started, the Junior Basketball Association. The players signed their contracts. I don't know if anyone saw that. It was pretty under the radar, which is surprising for LeVar. But LaMelo, I saw, signed and got his contract. And I do miss the fro with him. He cut it off, and I didn't like that. Over, under, I'll say we'll just go with 5 of the players actually in the JBA making it to the NBA, out of the JBA, straight to the NBA.
From the JBA straight to the NBA?
Yes.
I'm going with under. I watched a YouTube video on this just today, and what I saw was they tried out, and in the same day, without being able to consult anybody, they had to sign a contract. Like, this is just the most sketchy thing of all time.
I think it's a fantastic idea to combat the NCAA, but the way they're going about it is horrible.
You're right.
And LeVar Ball needs to hire someone who's actually a professional in this field to set this all up for them. It's a fantastic idea. You're getting these players, they're getting paid for their talents, which they should be getting in the NCAA to begin with, and that's a completely another debate.
Correct.
But they're getting compensated for their talents and skills and the money that they create by playing basketball, and then it gives them another opportunity to make it to the NBA, because some of them, college isn't for everyone, and they don't want to go to college, so this is another opportunity for them. Instead of going overseas, they can see right here with their families and play in this JBA. But the players that they're getting in here, not good.
First, LaMelo rocks those waves.
LaMelo does not rock those waves. I'm sorry. The fro looked fantastic on him. And I will say this, 5, but 1 for sure. LaMelo's going to the NBA. Lakers bound.
Back to the over-under. I'm going way over. I'm a big baller supporter. I'm taking way over. This is the next big thing, JBA. Look out.
I'm going with under.
To all the haters and losers out there, big ballers are the only ones that do good things in life, so get out of here, small ballers.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually also going to go with the over because, like Pop, I am buying into the BBB hype, the big baller lifestyle, the JBA. I think it's a great way for them to combat the monstrosity that is the NCAA. Because, let's be honest, the NCAA is just, the way that it is run is so unfair and so bad. And I think it brings a lot of great debate to this. And I really do hope, and I do think that there's plenty of talent out there in the JBA for us to see at least 5 players make the NBA. And that's my take.
All right, PPs. On that note, thank you guys so much for checking out Ep 25 of the Prattle, best ep yet. And we will see you guys soon. This was a basketball-centered episode, and we went over the mock draft, which I cannot wait for the NBA draft. Make sure you catch us on Twitter. What social media, Mac?
At Prattle the on Twitter, at the Prattle
Hit us,
on
baby.
Instagram, the Prattle on Facebook. And I'd just like to say also the World Cup starts Thursday. So Aaron, Alan, Pops, and I we are going to be releasing a episode previewing the World Cup.
Can't wait.
So be looking for that soon also.
Also, we have a website, do we not?
Yes, we do. Make sure you visit the website, theprattle.weebly.com. It is up and running.
Yeah.
There'll also be merchandise coming soon,
That's
so you guys
right.
can support your support the Prattle peepees. We need you.
That's right.
You keep this running. So
We do.
Let's get it.
And also, as we say every episode, keep an eye out for that live show, right, Producer Bit?
Oh yeah, it's coming.
It's coming. It's
We
coming.
just, we want it to be like a fine wine. We need it to age. It needs time. We want
Right.
to get people excited for it, and we
Right.
got to have everybody here.
Most definitely.
So, but it is coming.
It's
We
in
will
the
have a
works.
live show.
That's right. That's right. PPs, on that note, as I said, have a great night, day, whenever you're listening to this podcast. We could not do this without you. Every time you guys click play on Apple or wherever you're listening, it helps us. So thank you guys so much. Have a great one.